Hey everybody, thank you for tuning into the Games Done Quick Hot Fix. I am your host, Smooth Operative, and you are watching Time Capsule. It's the show where we travel back in time to your favorite years in gaming and showcase awesome speedruns of games that were released in the same year. And tonight we'll be checking out speedruns of 1998's MediEvil and later Sonic Adventure. But first, a few announcements for you. HDQ 2023 online will happen January 8th through the 15th. You can head on over to gamesdonequick.com for more information. Game submissions are closed, but why not tweet at us and let us know what you're hoping to see on the schedule. That's at gamesdonequick on Twitter. And also introducing Fright Fatales. It's a one-day event, October 23rd, to celebrate spooky season with dark, scary, and horror-themed speedruns brought to you by Frame Fatales. So you can use the !Fright command in Twitch chat to learn more about that one-off event. But this event today is Time Capsule, and we are all ready. So please allow me to introduce to you our first runner, and that is Jacobo the Chocobo. Hi, welcome.
Hello. Thank you for welcoming me.
Of course. And Nazareno's here as well. Hi.
Hello there. Thank you for having me.
So, Jacopo, would you like to, tell us what the plan is here?
The plan is to beat MediEvil very quickly here. This is,
Always?
for those who don't know, this is a really kind of a gem of a platformer game, and we'll be doing the no DGS category. We'll get into explaining what that means as the run goes along, but it's one of the longer categories. It's the older 80%, and you'll be seeing most of the stages in the game.
Sounds perfect to me.
Yeah, me too. Well, if we're good to go, I can give a countdown.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Whenever you want to give the countdown, we can get this rolling.
Okay, Naz.
Oh, I'm so.
Are you ready? Okay.
Going to have fun.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Let's jam.
All right,
luck.
good luck.
Thank you. Naz, I'm not going to do the speed glitch till a graveyard. So.
Oh well,
we can
that's
just
a
kind of
shame.
give.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So we just woke up. The Sir Daniel Fortescue here is a bit dead. Who woke up after 100 years because Zarok, an evil sorcerer, resurrected him by mistake, which is great. And now we have a chance to save the world and redeem ourselves from a very embarrassing death, and that is a very quick way to recap of recapping the story.
That's beautiful.
What is this game? This game is a very nice, fine combination between platforming, hack and slash, with a Tim Burton style. Very inspired, very well crafted. The first few stages, I was running around the cemetery and the mausoleum later, and we are supposed to defeat these zombies, for example, and collect their souls and chalices that we should feed to statues in the Hall of Heroes to unlock new weapons. But we don't care about that. Jacopo is fine with the basic inventory and weapons, and it's a great time. It's a great moment to say that this game is quite challenging combat-wise. It's not a precision game, so you can easily take damage, and you are given a lot of health to account for this. And again, we don't care about that. And Jacopo is not going to collect a lot of life bottles, which are the green things that appear over your health bar. So we're going to play the game unequipped and with not a lot of health, which is very scary. If you play this game casually, you know how challenging some stages can be. In the meantime, we have a very, very quick cutscene over here where we get to see Zarok for the first time, and then we will never see him again until the end. But we're getting to the end, right? So
we're getting to the end. Yeah.
We're going to see him. We're going to see him.
Everybody wave to Zarok here.
great man. He's a cool guy. This is the first. We call it the first technical stage. In a way, there's a lot going on here. Jacobo is switching to the armor for a nice, stylish hit on the chest here to collect the club. The club is a beautiful weapon. It allows us to break these boulders, and it can catch fire, so we can use it to light things up, zombies included. And are you trying Super Club?
Yes, of course.
Weapons are broken. The club is broken in many ways. It deals a lot of damage. It has a very nice and forgiving hitbox, and there's a thing called Super Club, which involves pressing the buttons for the two different attacks, square and X, with a very specific pace. And what happens is you'll see Dan just gently poking the club at a zombie and one shooting him, because he does the poke, which is the square attack of the club, but the damage that is dealt is the one from the X attack, and that is just beautiful. You can do amazing things with the club. The only problem is that the club has a percentage, so it goes down with every hit, and it's not infinite. But it's all right. We have some replenish throughout the game. It's going all right. We're now in the mausoleum. We just run around. We still ignore the imps because we don't want to engage in fights. We don't want to lose our health.
Yeah, that reminds me. I need to switch to arm to despawn them. Actually.
Oh yeah. There are some of these imps, the ones without the torch, are actually thieves that they're going to steal your weapon, and you don't want that. So you can equip the arm to despawn them because they're not interested in the arm specifically. The devs did that obviously to prevent you from just losing all your weapons and soft locking in this stage. You can lose the weapons actually if you don't retrieve them, if you don't kill the thieves, they're gone. If you leave the stage, I think they're gone.
Yeah, you can see
they're also doing the speed glitch.
Oh yes, I was going to say yes. So we should probably explain the speed glitch real quick too.
Thank you. Finally going fast. So I'm the first one who hates this thing. While we destroy this glass heart that has nothing to do with the stained glass demon that we're going to see, what is the speed glitch? In this game, we can spam a direction, again with a very specific pace.
You can hear the tapping.
You can hear the tapping. He's doing this to the analog stick. It is obviously very painful, but it's just for the first few stages of the game until we unlock a faster way of moving around. And you can build up speed. There is a cap, so you cannot build up speed infinitely like you can do in MediEvil 2. But it's a nice optimization. First boss of the game, Stained Glass Demon, beautiful. This guy has cycles. He exposes his hearts now, charging for an attack. In the meantime, we're using the daggers to deal a massive amount of damage with the super daggers. Again, super attacks, where it still involves messing with the two attack modes, square and X, to deal the charged attack damage, or almost that damage, with the fast daggers of the X attack. And ideally you want to kill the demon in 2 cycles, but this is alright. We're going for a 3 cycle, and that is still very, very fast. Usually in a casual playthrough you would get here with a crossbow, which is unlocked with the first chalice, but we don't have that. So the game gives us the daggers, and turns out they're just great for the speedrun. We grab the key, which we need in the cemetery. We need to get back to the graveyard to open a shady gate that we didn't notice before because Jacobo was just too fast. And quick shout out to the map. Beautiful map.
Yes, beautiful map.
Stages are not exactly linear. Some stages you gotta revisit. It is beautiful. You get to revisit some stages like the graveyard here with a different perspective, and you can now unlock a completely new area. And then there are going to be routes, which I'm probably going to explain later. So there is some non-linearity. At the end of the day, you have to do all the stages except for end caves, which you don't have to know about because it's not in the run.
Yeah, it's kind of like a stage here. Within a stage.
It doesn't exist. We're going for a beautiful clip here called Coffee Clip right there. Very nice. So a thing in MediEvil is that collisions come in all shapes and forms, and they are
definitely
all
do.
like they're all clipping together. So I have 2 seconds before Jacobo completely melts this boss. I'm very sorry. Okay, I have an extra cycle. That's all right.
That's for you, Des. That's just for you to give more commentary. That's totally intentional.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I didn't explain anything. Now Jacobo unlocked the daily dash, which is going to be the fastest way of movement. So now his wrist is fine. It can rest. It's great. Beautiful. No more speed glitch.
We have the first save of the run now.
Oh, the clips, the collisions, yes. He's going to save for safety. We're going for the loop. Okay, collisions are messy. I'll go back to that point later. There is a lot of time. What are level loops? Level loops. In this game, you have your vertical position is capped. You can be that low in the world or that high. When you reach the lowest point, you get teleported to the highest point. All right, so you can, if you for example open the inventory that has a buffer and manage to fall through a pit with the inventory open, what happens is when the inventory is open, you cannot collide with the death planes that are in the pits, so you don't die. You fall in the void, you go out of bounds, and when you close the inventory, if you keep moving, you can move around while looping vertically, because you're going to fall, you're going to reach the lowest point, the game throws you back up, and in the meantime you can move around and reach the exit trigger, for example, and that's what is going to happen. There you go. Jacobo just completed Enchanted Earth, which is a stage that you usually have to revisit twice and clear, and it's very complex, and it's just over, it's gone. And he unlocked 2 stages, the Scarecrow Fields and the Pools of the Ancient Dead. He is going for the pools first because they used to be very scary, like a run killer, and now they're just easy peasy because Jacobo himself actually discovered what we call Jaco Ghost, which is a beautiful trick he's going to equip to grab a helmet that he is going to give to the Bowman to trigger a cutscene. But as the cutscene is triggered, he dies with the inventory open like that, and when he skips the dialogue of the cutscene, he gains control of Dan again, and now we can fly while Dan is stuck in the death animation. So he is just floating around and farting his way through the pools. We heal up, we grab a safety bottle, where Jacobo is fast, he doesn't care about that, but for the show, he's grabbing the extra bottle just for safety. And we're out. Again, if you know this stage casually, you remember what pain, what desperate pain it is to navigate, and we can just do that. Scarecrow Fields.
Well,
go ahead.
And before Jaco Ghost, we used to have to loop there, so later on we can consult the ancient text and read out all the inputs for the loop that used to be there, but for now it's just resting in peace. So
yeah, it was a very precise level loop. Every loop has like a setup, a set number of like dashes in set directions, because the camera messes with you and you cannot see anything. You are in the darkness and you have no idea where you are. You just have to trust the setups.
It's like me right now with my webcam.
Yeah. quick clip there to grab the rune earlier and skip the first robot. The problem is that now we have to run around constantly here, because otherwise the camera will snap back to the previous robot, which is not great. Just like that, just a showcase. And after this one, we just have another beautiful clip at the end to go out of bounds, which is very, very funny. And I will explain the routes now. What are we doing here? The map branches now, and we have a path from the pools upwards. From the pools to the north that leads to the late game. But we're going east, where there are two routes, and those are called I call them the gems routes, because in this game you are supposed to discover later that there is a dragon that you can summon with 2 dragon gems, and the dragon gems are hidden at the end of these 2 routes that we're going to approach now, starting with the pumpkin route. And so we start by cleaning these routes and grabbing the gems for later. Pumpkin Gorge, beautiful stage, a lot of out of bounds. You're going to see Jacobo climbing up the roofs and the walls around. Again, collisions are completely destroyed here, and out of bounds you'll see that Pumpkin Gorge is full of invisible colliders that are all compenetrated, and like you can, depending on how you hit them, you clip, you don't clip. It's very, very weird. We just do a nice dash jump from that roof, and we're sequence breaking everything here.
Yeah.
We are supposed to like collect rooms, open gates, do stuff, solve puzzles. We don't care. Jack and clubs are nice. Don't laugh. Stay focused, please. Mushrooms. These are very scary, actually. He's doing this as if it was the easiest thing in the world. Nice, beautiful skip right there. You're not supposed to do that. You can do a very precise dash jump before the plant raises up to grab the time rune earlier, and that's it. Beautiful Pumpkin Gorge, actually very, very clean.
That's pretty good, yeah.
I choked multiple times in that stage. And now we have a boss. We have a beautiful boss, the Pumpkin King in the Pumpkin Serpent stage. He's going to save for safety. It's a choice that I absolutely approve. And the first part of the stage is destroying the pods that kind of they are connected to the Pumpkin King, which is this huge pumpkin burger right there in the distance. Once all the pods are gone, the pumpkin will wake up, and we will have to kill it very, very quickly with the club, our good old friend Club, while going through a horde of pumpkins. These pumpkins are terrible because, again, collisions are bad, and if you just gently touch them, you take damage. And they're actively trying to deal you damage. So it's all harder. I think there is time for donations while Jacobo destroys the pumpkin.
There's no donations for today since we are just doing hotfix, which is completely supported by all of you. So I'll say this. Big shout outs to all of our supporters. Your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered here on the GDQ Twitch channel do help support Games Done Quick, both with Hotfix and with AGDQ 2023 costs, which is a charity event. So please consider subscribing if you do enjoy the daily GDQ content. But yeah, AGDQ 2023, if you missed, will be happening online January 8th through the 15th. You can head on over to gamesdonequick.com for more information on that. The game submissions are closed, but you are free to tweet at us at GamesDoneQuick and let us know what you're hoping to see on the schedule. So yeah. Let's go.
Jacopo grabbed the first dragon gem from the witch, and now we have the second route, starting with the sleeping village. This stage is another one with a lot of stuff. You're supposed to solve a big puzzle involving a bust that we're going to collect to prevent the game from soft locking. But we don't care about the rest of the puzzle. We're going to sequence break.
With a nice juicy clip. Yeah, a lovely clip. Yeah. No, we never miss the clip. It's always very easy. First try every time.
It's going to be first try.
It's going to be first try. Yeah. I can feel it.
So we grab some rooms. We heal up. We replenish the club. which is going to be way more and more necessary later. And now once we exit with the bus, there's going to be a cutscene with Zarok's soldiers entering the city looking for Dan.
I wasted time getting the swag clip. That was a swag clip, by the way. That was purely for the GDQ.
It doesn't save
the barrel
time,
bump.
It's so good
Yeah.
to watch. I cannot do that. Okay, here we go. Tree clip. Dan is going to magically clip through this tree right here. And okay.
That's fine.
We got the less happy outcome. We are completely out of bounds, and we have to get back inside by clipping through this wall. There, look at that! That's so easy. You can lose 5 minutes there without getting it. And now we get inside the mayor's house. We open the gate to the exit, and we are supposed to collect here the shadow artifact that is necessary to progress in Enchanted Earth. But oops, we already did Enchanted Earth, so we don't care.
Oops.
All that we have to do now is kill this 4 gentlemen, and then the gate opens and we're out very, very quickly. Nice. Next stage, I think Jacob is going to save.
I'm definitely going to save.
We have grounds.
This is the hardest trick in the run. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It is the hardest trick in the run, except for DGS, and we don't do DGS in this category.
No, we don't even know what that is in this category. There's no DGS.
It's nothing.
It's a mystery.
Yeah, it doesn't exist. So
it's a myth.
Asylum Grounds is a stage where you're supposed to solve 4 puzzles and go around the maze. We don't do that. Instead, we're going to do some very insane out-of-bounds platforming, like so, just jumping on walls and arches to reach the final puzzle that is the chess. Okay, that's okay.
Right.
That's okay.
There's plenty of time.
That's all right. That's a soft lock. If you fall out of bounds once you are in the maze area, it's over because the maze is locked. And colliders are beautiful. Colliders are nice for whatever reason. All above the maze and outside the maze, there are colliders that prevent you from getting back inside
Everywhere.
from running straight. Once you are over the maze, you just have to jump constantly to get through, to clip through the colliders. Again, beautiful jump on the unicorn. I don't know how he is doing it so easily. He is positioning himself on the column there, like on the stone, very precisely. You see him looking for the shadow, for Dan's shadow. If the shadow is not there, it doesn't work. On the capital, that's a tricky jump. All right. Okay, from here it's very, very scary. If you fall here, it's a soft lock. Nice swag dash jump right there. Okay, final jump. There you go. Easy peasy. And now we have the chess. We just do the chess as intended, very, very quickly. Each piece moves like the regular piece, and that's all right. And this saves around 5 minutes.
It saves a lot of time. This stage, for those of you who might not have played this game casually, like Nas was explaining, there's so many puzzles. There's this huge labyrinthine maze you're supposed to navigate by solving these puzzles. Jacob the Green is this large talking head that gives you these like silly enigmas that you're not supposed to be able to solve, but they're all really easy. But it takes about 4.5 minutes, something like that, to beat the stage beyond doing the skip. So we actually got that pretty quickly and still saved a bunch of time.
Yeah, that was very quick. And we save again because we have the most savage stage in terms of combat. This is just not really a boss rush, but like an enemy rush. We're going through the asylum, which is just made of rooms filled with zombies and inmates, and they're all buffed up. They all deal a lot of damage. Like these zombies deal 60 damage, and if you look at Dan's health bar, it's like 1/4 of his health bar. We have 3 bottles, and there are like tons of them in the stage. It never ends. So we're being very precise here with the charged sword attacks. Jacob is keeping his distance because he doesn't want to lose his first bottle. Not yet. He's saving it for a nice iframe abuse just in a few seconds. So once we clear these first spawns in this room, a final spawn is going to happen. There's going to be a lot of zombies on screen, and we're going to let them come to us, completely kill us, and at that point Dan heals up just like that. And while he is healed up, he has some iframes, so we can charge the attack. They're all around us, and we can kill them with one nice attack. Third room, beautiful. We have some zombies first and bats.
Friendly zombies.
They're all right. There's a blind spot. If you want to
right here,
like avoid taking damage from the bats, and there's a nice vial. And after this, we have some headless zombies. So we are going to use the club with some air hits, because like this game has some depth to it. So like the club, for example, or the hammer, they both have like they can deal critical damage, so to speak. It's not exactly like that, but like if you hit the enemies not precisely, you're not going to deal a lot of damage. So if you do air hits like this, you are pretty much guaranteed to get critical hits and one shoot the zombies, which is gorgeous. Same here with the inmates. Health is great.
Oh, health is beautiful.
Fun fact: in this very room, if you load this game yourself and get to this room, you can soft lock very easily. You just dash jump into the central hole, and it's over. You cannot get out of there, and that is a thing for some reason. Like you can do that very easily. Where we've been dreaming about doing a level loop here, because it would be great. Like if you look at the models for the stage, the rooms are all in a row. They all exist in the void, one next to each other. So if you can loop, if you can get out of bounds and fall, you can theoretically like reach the final room, because they're all there. They're all very close to each other. But unfortunately, it's just a theory right now, and there's no way to go out of bounds. They're all very, very tight rooms. Final bomb chest here, and we're done. We're not going to collect the chalice. Am I right?
Look at this.
The pesky final.
What the heck?
He is like that. Yeah, I know.
Did I get the chalice? I don't know. I kind of want to get it. Are you sure?
No.
It's just it's so nice and I don't know. Okay, I won't get it.
We're not going to. We free the mayor. This guy is the mayor, and we grab the second dragon gem. Please.
Okay.
You didn't heal. That's very brave of you. All right. Oh well, no, that's okay. You don't have to do Pumpkin Gorge. Yeah, I forgot. We
that's right. Yeah.
routes.
Oh yeah. Naz has a different route than I do. When he was talking about the gym, the dragon gym routes, he goes to Sleeping Village and the Asylum stages first before the pumpkin stuff.
Yeah, yeah. It's okay. I don't really save time, or like the routes are pretty much the same. It's just a bit different with the club management, and that's
right.
it. The lake. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts about this stage? Anything to say? I don't know. It's going to be very fast.
Yes, it's gonna be very fast. Another one of those stages where like there's just so much you're supposed to do in this stage. So many enemies, so many little puzzles, and we're gonna just go directly to the end, very just disrespectfully, honestly. and then just getting right here and then clipping through that wall, and then it's just over. I didn't even finish my sentence. It's over.
That was gorgeous. You can soft lock there. If you go too much to the right, you can soft lock and you gotta reload, and that was beautiful. Crystal Caves, another beautiful stage. This is where the dragon is. So our first objective here our first task is to reach the dragon, summon him with the dragon gems, defeat him very quickly, and he is going to drop us the dragon armor, which is going to be mandatory and necessary to progress through the next stage.
Right, where we'll see this thing called a dragon gate, which will dovetail nicely with the category game.
Yes, exactly. Should I start explaining it from now? Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a bit lengthy. So this category is no DGS. DGS stands for Dragon Gate Skip, and it is currently considered the hardest trick in MediEvil 1. What is it? If you notice that we have to do a lot of stuff to get the dragon armor here, we have to get through 6 stages from Scarecrow Fields to Azanum to collect the 2 dragon gems. And what if we could avoid doing that by, for example, clipping with a frame perfect trick through the dragon gate in the next stage without using the dragon armor? So next stage is Gallows Gauntlet, and it has this nice fiery gate behind which we have the plates that we have to press to reach the runes to get out of the stage. So we have to get through the fire gate, and the game wants us to use the dragon armor. But we can do what is called a knockback dash, which is almost a frame perfect trick to get in and out of the dragon gate without the dragon armor. So we can skip 6 stages, we can skip the gem routes, we can skip the dragon, and save like 12 minutes on the run, on the overall run. But it's like DGS is mildly difficult, so we had to split the categories and make like the new modern 90% has DGS, and it's super fast. It's like 20 minutes. And the knockback dash, the entire thing happens in the span of 2 frames. You have to import to do 4 inputs in 2 frames. It's very complicated. I recommend watching on any percent run because it's a lot of fun.
Or you just do no DGS and get the dragon armor. Yeah, you just beat the game illegally. It's.
Yeah, my heart still goes to no DGS, honestly. Haunted Ruins, beautiful, beautiful. Once again, we have to do level loops again. Here we go. We have to do. You didn't save.
I did.
Did you?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. I blinked. I missed it. We have to do 2 level loops here. One right now, where we hope to reach to instantly warp inside the room. But if it doesn't happen, it's all right. This is one of those fuzzy loops where you can land in a bunch of places. Some places are no. Some places are okay. You can soft lock. You can just land in terrible places. This is great. We got it. We're of course doing this to get through some barriers. It's like room-based barriers without actually collecting runes because that is slow. We grab the crown. We go back to the throne room to summon the King Peregrine, who is I'm pretty sure he is the king of Galamir in general. But he is also a ghost, so I don't know how that works politically. And he's going to tell us things, and he's going to self-destruct the castle, which makes sense. But we have to escape with another level loop. Right here, there's a spot where we can clip. There's a tiny floor there that you cannot see, but if you fall wisely, you get through it. And you do some 9 dashes here. You see the castle appearing once we loop vertically. Look at that. right there, and we do some more dashes, and we get to the final area where there is a catapult that we can use to throw them out of the castle. Fun fact, the levers that make everything work spawn only after you talk to the king. So we cannot do one loop to reach this area because we cannot do anything. The levers are not there. Ghost ship. Jacob is going to save.
Big time.
And do ghost ship very, very quickly. This is a very tough stage, casually. You have to navigate this beautiful flying pirate ship.
I'll show the cutscene.
Yeah, let's have fun. Beautiful cutscene. Takes only a minute. And we are on pace. We're doing great. We're doing really great. This is a beautiful run. So casually, you have to go through the entire ship. You have to defeat various skeleton pirates. They work like the skeletons in Dark Souls. So you have like immortal minions controlled by or associated to a mortal skeleton, and you have to defeat the mortal skeleton to defeat the immortal minions. All right, and then you reach the end of the ship. You have to defeat the captain with a beautiful boss fight involving cannons and the club lighting things on fire. We don't do that. We're just going to level loop from the start and reach the end and skip the boss fight as well.
Also, a fun fact: that monster you just saw chasing Dan in the cutscene, the Jabberwocky, right, from a stage that got canned, right? So that cutscene doesn't actually follow logically from Haunted Ruins in the game, as far as I know.
Yeah, there is like a gap there. There was supposed to be like a chasing stage, probably, maybe. There is some cut content. But here we go. Jacob is going to do a beautiful dash jump here. There's a tiny spot where you can go out of bounds. You're not supposed to be there. Did you know? There are collisions that are desperately trying to prevent you from falling off the ship, and they just fail right there. Okay, that happened. If you go neutral while looping, you're going to die. Like Dan is going to realize that he is falling and he dies. But as long as you just keep a direction pressed, you're good. And this is a very precise loop. There are various setups. Jacob is doing an old school setup that I cannot get to work.
So I'd actually.
Do you want me to stay aside?
No. I'm dying there intentionally because I'm not. My dash jump wasn't far enough. That should be okay.
Yeah, that's that. Oh, I thought you were joking, but that's actually important. If you don't go far enough, it's not going to work. You're going to soft lock. You can soft lock in a bunch of places. You can clip through the ship. You can get some very silly results.
We'll heal.
Okay. Yeah, we're going for the fountain. We can enjoy the music.
The goofy music, the barrels rolling around. There's so much. There are funny like skeleton captains we're not going to see at all.
Yeah, we've already seen a lot of the ship. We were not.
We've seen too much. We've seen too much of the ship, honestly.
Yeah, it's okay. We can leave.
Are you sure we can leave?
I'm pretty sure. You can see that collisions. Collisions are now working. They woke up and they just work.
There we go.
Okay. Yay, let's freaking go. That was beautiful. Jacobo was Yeah, go ahead.
No, there's a whole there's a boss there you're supposed to fight. You're supposed to use your club to like ignite those cannons, shoot this boss as he walks back and forth. but we're not
no.
going to see that boss tonight.
Yeah, entrance hall, very relaxing stage.
Very relaxing.
We're just running for the exit, maybe healing up. I don't know.
I'll heal to
Do
the
you feel
second
like
bottle.
healing?
I'll heal to the second bottle, and then we're going to try for console despawn.
Ooh, oh, all right. Okay, I will start explaining the
Let's go
There's
back
a
20
lot-
minutes and start explaining then, yeah.
We gotta plan everything ahead because like this, there's a lot of stuff that is happening very very quickly now. Time device. Do you remember the stage? Forget about it. Jacobo is going to skip it entirely with a lever loop. We're just going to see the rails and it's over. The safety save is not related to any choke in the stage. No. It's totally impossible to fail this loop.
That's an RNG manip.
After this stage, we have Xanax Lair, the final boss. We have three fights, and there's a beautiful thing we can do that is called Soldier Despawn. So here's how it works. We're going to do the inventory glitch, with like the buffering with the inventory, so that we trigger the cutscene, so that we trigger a cutscene with the inventory open. And when the inventory is open, the time is stopped for some things. Some things still happen, still work, still run. Some things don't. And the result is that in that specific cutscene, the enemy soldiers, dark soldiers, are supposed to spawn, and they're all and only half of them are going to spawn, which is obviously an advantage for us because we have to do a fight, you know. So if you only have to fight half the number of soldiers, that is great. There's a problem. The problem is that if you do the soldier despawn on console, you're cursed, and once you get to the next cutscene, the game crashes.
And the game can still crash too. I'm going to try it, but it could still crash.
It can still crash if you just. There are mysteries surrounding this trick, and you can just get crashes, especially on console. It's very fragile. But we did make a save. There you go. That's it. We have the inventory open now. Zarok, let's go. And you can see that like the tiny hand of the soldier there. They're just stuck there. They cannot do anything about it. So how do we?
They're supposed to be like filing out from those little gates there.
Yeah, they're just not coming out. How do we fix the crash? We want to spawn the remaining soldiers once we win. Like we will see our soldiers jumping up. We'll be all happy, and at that point we can spawn the rest of the enemy soldiers, and we will still win. If we don't, but to do that, we just have to cross that central area in the arena. And then we'll just spawn. So Jacobo is staying here because he doesn't want to spawn the soldiers earlier. Actually, I made a mistake. I explained it wrong. We do spawn them at the end on emulator because emulator can some inaccurate emulators can handle this better. On console, you have to spawn the soldiers earlier because you want them to be all dead. When the game checks for the battle results, otherwise you get a crash. And
right,
there has been some studies.
Go ahead. Keep going. I don't know the word.
No, there has been some studies on this, and you can like do the perfect soldier despawn on console, but it's like frame perfect. You have to be very precise. You have to do like an inventory glitch later. It's very very tough, and maybe it works on older models of PS1.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think it's like 3 frame perfect things you have to do where you close the inventory or whatever.
Yeah, it is insane. This is the safe way. Hopefully we're not going to get a crash. And what's the advantage is that you are supposed to heal your soldiers with a good lining. So then loses his health to heal up his soldiers, and we don't have a lot of health. We cannot do that. we're not supposed to be here with only 3 bottles. So we do the soldier despawn to make it easier. Our soldiers are turning into vials, and when it's done, Zarok is going to introduce Lord Karduk, who, fun fact, is the guy who killed Din with an arrow in the eye. And hopefully he doesn't crash. The game doesn't crash. All right.
There's still a chance.
It's still going.
Still a chance.
Okay. Turns out the dragon armor is a bit broken, and it can melt Karduk in seconds. So like you might remember from your childhood going through these bosses with all your weapons. You don't need those. You just need the dragon armor or the club. In any percent, you just use the club, and it's even more powerful with the super club. Look at that. Look at the huge amount of damage.
Gotta crash.
Oh, okay, that's funny. I've never seen the crash happening there.
That's what usually happens on console. Enjoy the PS2 BIOS screen.
Beautiful,
I will.
super fast
It is
menuing.
beautiful.
That's all right.
No
We still got
worries.
this. But yeah, once you do the fight with the skeletons, the game can crash everywhere. From there to the very end, you can get a crash before the credits roll, and that actually invalidates the run. According to the rules, never happened to anybody. And no. And so like you can get a crash in the cutscene. You can get a crash there when Karduk dies. Apparently, I'm discovering this as we go through the game. So we just reload and do the fight again.
And now we won't do the despawn. We'll do the fight in the intended legal way.
You can do this with 3 bottles, but you can do it with 2 bottles as well.
Yeah.
It's just very tight.
Yeah.
Depending on how much health you have entering the lair, you may be given health fountains around the arena. But I think we're getting it. Yes, we're getting those.
For sure, yeah. If you have more than 2 bottles full, then only 1 fountain appears. But I intentionally walk in with 2, so that we get 2 fountains here, so I can use this one to fill up a bit before doing the main kind of skeleton fight.
You didn't notice, but like Jacobo has been intentionally taking damage this entire run just to get here and get the 2 fountains, and that is so remarkable. So we just trigger the cutscene, and we legally spawn all the soldiers. And
Legally, so now you get to see,
yeah. Look at them. That's okay. And it is still very tight. It is very tight. You're again, I cannot stress it enough. You're not supposed to be this under-equipped. Getting to the final boss. The game doesn't care about you having this low health. So like, and the fight is now 1 versus 1. You have like 8 soldiers versus 8 soldiers. I think. Yeah, I think it's 8.
Something like that.
That's 8. Okay. And as a kid, I actually thought the number of soldiers on the inside depended on the number of bottles you had, and turns out it's not.
Funny. Yeah. Just to quickly add to what Naz is saying, there are a bunch of bottles we could have gotten throughout the game, obviously, but many of them, would take a lot of time to get. So I think you can come in here. What is it? Is it 8 or 9 bottles? It's the max. Forget it. It's been such a long time.
8, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a ludicrous amount of bottles.
Right, and it would be a breeze healing all these skeletons with that much health. So we are quite under equipped in pretty much every way possible right now.
Yeah.
Pulling on by a thread, please don't die.
Yeah, when they go red, it's bad. Jacob is also doing a very clever thing with the iframes. When Dan heals up and you see the life bottle popping in the center of the screen, you have like that. You have the iframes, and you can heal for free. So Jacob is just very gently doing some quick healings all the time, and when he gets his health replenished, he goes full he just presses the button and heals everything as quickly as possible. And now we heal up very quickly.
Oh, good. Okay, we're totally fine.
Oh, well, we're great. The battle is over. There you go. Very easy.
So you can see we have quite a bit of skeletons left. I prefer to have a lot for safety reasons because each energy vial is like a good amount of health. It's like 250 health, something like that it refills. I forget what it is.
Yeah.
But there's a kind of trick you can do with the camera here. During the cutscene, if Dan is in a health fountain, which he was, as long as the camera has Dan like in its scope, he will continue to heal during the scene. So we do that to kind of save some time and heal while this is happening.
Yes. And now,
we won't get a crash.
The vials are the sole source of healing that we have for the next two battles. And depending on what happens with our good man Zarok, they may or may not be enough.
Right. Well, and because I entered in the arena with only 2 bottles full, we do have a backup fountain right over here.
Oh yeah, we have that.
We're just so used to only having yeah, it's free. Yeah, okay. It's a free game. It's a free run, really.
There you go. We get to see Kardok being destroyed once again, and that is great. You never get enough of Kardok losing the fight. And now Zarok is very understandably annoyed by Dan defeating all his subordinates. So he turns himself into a giant lizard, and he tries to defeat us. And unfortunately, Jacobo is going to win again. That's the guy. If you do the soldier despawn, you can get a crash when Zarok is walking menacingly like that through the arena. I think if he collides with the leftovers of the soldiers, but I'm not sure. There's no way to know. So Zarok is invulnerable when he has that blue aura around him, and he will go vulnerable occasionally, and we're going to spit fire very, very quickly like that and stock up some damage. He deals a lot of damage. He goes very quick. He's so fast. He jumps
and
around. He spits poison.
Time will be when he's
yeah.
Oh, it's time.
Time. Easy,
just like that.
Just like that.
Fast. GG.
Yeah, GG. Jacobo, do you have any comments or shoutouts or anything?
Yet if I am to fail.
Well, what was the time first? I'm just curious.
Let's see. It was a 50-30.
50-30, okay. Just 30 seconds over.
It's okay.
That's because of the crash, because we went for the despawn and the crash wasted all those minutes.
It was.
Yeah.
Well, obviously... No, go ahead, Naz.
No, go ahead. I forgot what I was going to say, so save me, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, obviously, Naz and I both run this game and enjoy the run and appreciate the game in all its aspects, from the artwork to the gameplay and whatnot, even though some things are janky, like the colliders. But, we've been running this game for quite some time now, and it's been a pretty fun time, all things considered. So, shout out to the MediEvil community, of course, especially Jaxler and especially Naz. Naz, his time zone is crazy right now. He's been awake for a very long time, so I really appreciate you being a commentator.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.
Aww.
It's been beautiful.
Yes, it was a beautiful run. I will say it again. If you did enjoy the run, please make sure you follow both Jacobo and Naz. I posted their Twitch links in the chat. I'm sure you can expect MediEvil and maybe some other cool games from them in their Twitch streams. Before we break, if you do want to follow up on what Games Done Quick is up to, you can use the chat command !links. here in the Twitch chat for all things GDQ. We will be right back with Sonic's first major foray into 3D gaming, and that is Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast. So don't go away.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Time Capsule here on the Games Done Quick Twitch channel. It's the show where we travel back in time to your favorite years in gaming and showcase awesome speedruns of games that were released in the same year. Tonight we are hanging out in 1998 and we are all set up for Sonic Adventure. So please welcome Witherman. Take it away, my friend.
Hello, how's everybody doing tonight? It feels fantastic to be here on this channel. It's been kind of a dream of mine for as long as I've been into the gaming sphere. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, it's not just me here. I'm here with my good friend Squeefy. How are you doing today, my friend?
It's going good. Being here is going to be kind of awesome. Not going to lie, we've got a lot happening, so yeah.
Well, thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, Sonic Adventure's gone through a lot recently. In a little bit more than just as a speed game and as a community. There was a board split. For the longest time, Sonic Adventure, the original Dreamcast version, was considered more of a subcategory of Sonic Adventure DX, which is a much more popular speed game for some reasons we'll probably have time to talk about during the run.
Plenty of time. Yeah, we'll have time.
But Sonic Adventure has had kind of a resurgence recently, with a lot of new strats being found and a lot of interest in the community to really push this version of the game, as well as a few console-specific subcategories that don't really work for DX, such as Cutscene Cut, which is its own whole unique thing, which ends up turning into its own run with its own weird consequences. So, but yeah, Adventure in the last couple weeks has kind of exploded, so the timing really couldn't be better to showcase this game.
Perfect. Well, yeah, that sounds like an awesome plan to me, Witherman. So whenever you want to give the countdown, we're ready for it.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and start getting ready then. So time is gonna begin in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
And I guess we're off then. So, we've got loading screen we'll wait for here. Try to explain things as we go because that makes sense. And here is our first difference between Dreamcast and DX. Sit back, relax, make a sandwich.
Yep, we got a lot of time on our hands for this one.
This kind of reason we have the cutscene skip, that cutscene cut cargo extension is for, skipping cutscenes. Kind of just open up some opportunities. But here we're doing a full-on Sonic Story playthrough.
So this is the biggest discrepancy, I would say, between DX and DC. You can't skip these. And the game is so cool. It's so different from DX. There are so many unique strategies that only work in this game, but you gotta sit through the cutscenes for them.
Yeah.
Which is why we're so glad our category extension of boards exist.
Yeah. It's changed a lot of things. I mean, there are a couple cutscenes we'll skip later on, but we'll get them when we get to them.
So what's happening in this game then? If we're going to be sitting through many cutscenes, maybe you could tell us. Is there a way?
Okay, so evil water demon from some place got really upset because someone hurt his children.
Yeah, that's the plot.
Then. That's about it.
In long and short, there's also like an underlying plot about a war that wipes out an entire race of people.
I forgot about
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, I forgot about the subplot.
I forgot about the subplot. It's kind of undertoned.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay, so Chaos Zero. This is actually probably one of the easiest bosses. Actually, no, not one of it. Just is.
Yeah, this is.
It's very simple. Basically, what he's going to do is he's going to do a spin dash jump. Well, a spin dash straight into Chaos right here. Go back. That will reset him. He'll start to stand up. Go back to him again.
Oh no.
Take damage. Wait. Take damage one hit early. Now he'll take damage. And that essentially just ends that cycle early. And then he'll go up. He'll move across the other lamp so he can't hit him. And he'll jump down.
Alright.
And okay. That
he
was
does not want to cooperate today, but...
That was the Chaos Zero of all time.
Yeah, Chaos Zero is sometimes a little bit silly.
It can be, yeah. Yeah, it can be.
And yeah, if in case you're wondering why this game is in Japanese and why we sit through, if you look at the estimate, about an hour and 30 minutes of Japanese cutscenes. The Japanese version of the game is slightly faster for a lot of really weird reasons. The cutscenes are very slightly faster in a few places. The spawn locations are a little bit different in the hub worlds, so you have like a little bit less hub world movement. Load times are a little bit faster, which matters for a game that's timed in RTA.
Yes.
And some of the weirdest stuff of all is that the camera is completely different. Like, for some reason, if you play Sonic Adventure DX, you're going to have the opportunity to switch between what's known as free cam and auto cam, which completely changes how the camera for that game works. The Japanese version of the game is much similar to what that game calls free cam, and every other version of the game, including, like, every other version of the game, has what's known as auto cam, which is much more restrictive. I have no idea why this change was made, or why they purposefully made the camera a little worse, but, you know, we make do.
Yeah, I mean, we adapt, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I mean, now we actually get to start the game. The cutscenes are over. Thanks for joining our Sonic Adventure movie. Okay, so Emerald Coast, this is a very technical level, considering it's the first stage of the game, because there's a lot that can go wrong. So what we're going to do is going to just jump over here because, you know, we can do that. And typically we're going to try and avoid going through loops because you're literally going back to where you started. Not really what we want to be doing here. First major skip we're going to do is something called Well Skip. Which, if, yep, just simply jump over there. That went about as smoothly as you can ask for, to be fair. That was great. We're just going to go for it. Hopefully Wither gets the bonk, which is, if you cancel the spin at the right time, that's unfortunate, but it's, you know.
Oh no.
Just hit the collision on the bottom of the bridge. Okay, that's unfortunate, but you know, we keep going. It's not going to lose much time overall. And then we are into Act 3. Oh, Act 3, Act 2, what am I talking about? Yeah, I know maths. So we're just going to do a quick spin this truck. Oh, okay.
Oh my.
Wibber! Stop it! Wibber!
I'm trying.
Wait a minute. Stop it. Thank you.
What?
You're a disappointment. Get out. Anyway, we're showing off the Let's Play route.
Alright, so...
Anyone that's played DX will notice the water here does cover up a lot more. So in DX you can do some skips, which work on Dreamcast, but just a bit hard to line up just because you can't see where the limits are of the collision and everything. And we're coming close to the end of Emerald Coast. And yeah, that was a good run, actually. Few mistakes, but you know, don't worry.
Yeah, a few very silly things happened for sure, but it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll tell you that about it. You know.
Remember how we said we watched cutscenes? That is a lie.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
There is two. Is it two?
It's two.
Two specific cutscenes we can skip. I mean, there are others using some glitches and skips which are not easy to do. So I'm not sure we'll be showing them off because, yeah, they're very specific.
Yeah. There are a few more cutscene skips besides the two resets, but yeah, they are very, very difficult.
Very difficult.
And
it's the way Dreamcast handles collision is a little bit different to DX. DX kind of just lets you go through as long as the majority of your character is through the collision, you go through. Dreamcast has a habit of knowing where you're supposed to be and then will push you back out, regardless of how far in you are. Which just means finding certain clips and skips does get a bit difficult. So we're just making our way over to Egg Hornet, which is a nice, it's nice to breathe for a few seconds. So get what?
And you'll notice as well that there's no hub world music at all. Once you do that little reset to skip the Tails cutscene, the game just kind of gets sad and stops playing music for you.
Oh no! You didn't want to watch a story. Oh, hi. I mean, the levels will have music still. It's just hub worlds, which is a weird thing to happen. But I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with not loading it, I guess. So just to explain how Eggcorn is going to work, he will shoot some missiles, we will dodge the missiles, and then we will just spam the A button.
Oh, most people dodge the missiles. I like to take them head on. Like,
I mean, that works too.
In Dreamcast, what I've noticed is the missiles themselves cause a bunch of lag whenever they land. So it's a little bit faster to jump up so that the missiles don't hit the ground. They might hit you, but they don't cause any lag at all. So it's like a 1 second save.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You have to remember, because this is timed RTA, anything that introduces lag is kind of something you want to try and avoid.
There are a lot of anti-lag strats.
Yes, there is. So, we do kind of want to avoid it as much as we can. So just grabbing a safety ring here. Letting the missiles, kind of dodge around them, I guess. And essentially we're trying to stay close to the rim, the edge of the stage, just so he comes down earlier. Save a few seconds. But that's what we do. Saving the seconds. And so another thing, that was a really good run actually. Another thing that also is consistent that we do is when you finish a stage or a boss or anything, if you hold down a face button, it will skip the results, so you don't have to sit through them. Which is another small time save which is worth using when you never.
Yeah, that's nice. They add up.
With how many there are, because it's after every level, after every boss, they add up to way more than you'd think.
Wow.
Yeah, Tails is very ignorantly walking out with the Chaos Emerald right in front of him. Eggman decides, well, that looks pretty easy. So he just grabs it.
Because, and I still would have no idea where the hell that claw came from. It makes literally no sense. It just came out of nowhere.
The Eggmobile's got everything it needs. It's got an infinite amount of ice trays to keep making ice robots. It's got ample room for Eggman in every Chaos Emerald. It's got everything it needs, it's
like the Swiss Army knife of robot eggs, I guess. The best description I can come up with. So about halfway through this cutscene, got Windy Valley next, which is Windy Valley is the next level, which is going to have one of the biggest skips in the game, which I'm kind of excited for because it looks amazing.
Windy Valley is a very flashy stage. It's very cool.
It is. So this is going to be something.
It's sure going to be something.
It's going to be something. I mean, I guess while we're sitting, we can kind of try and explain how movement works in this game. And what you'll notice is we tend to not hold a spin dash. We will alternate. Because the way, basically, Sonic's fastest movement is after the initial charge of a spin dash. So when you charge, you'll move, and then after, gradually, you'll slow down time. So we will chain multiple spin dashes back to back to keep that initial speed, instead of allowing it to drop down. The only time we will hold a spin dash is hold a roll is when we're going downhill, because you gain speed going down. Any other time you'll see whether it's alternating X and B to keep the initial charge going.
Yeah, it's I use it I'm playing on original hardware in case that wasn't abundantly clear to everybody. This is not on emulator, so there is we are using original Dreamcast controllers when we run. So to be able to alternate between X and B on a Dreamcast controller is pretty tricky.
Yeah, most will do a claw grip and then sort of take the hands off whenever they're doing something like a spin dash jump or anything like that. To sort of get your fingers in position, because the thing you'll need for playing this game is pretzel hands.
True, it sometimes feels like I'm playing DDR with my hand just to get it in the right place.
Yeah, it does. Okay, so we've got another skip coming up here. This is called trampoline skip. What we're going to do is you're going to roll onto it, hit A, and that was absolutely perfect. You have to time the last jump just as you're about to fall off the second to last platform, and essentially you will try and homing attack onto that spring, and then you can go from there. And that was about as smooth as you can get. And this is Windy Valley Skip. What is happening here is we are lining up a spin dash, going around, avoiding a hiccuping. Looks about right. I'm nervous because you're doing this one blind.
No, I'm fine. This is easy. The hard part's getting through the kill plane. Now that I've got through the kill plane, all I gotta do is land.
I mean, it's looking good, so of course,
Yeah.
And there it is. That was about as flawed as you can get. But yeah, as we were saying, we are dodging around kill planes to essentially fall to the end of the stage. Because the way Sonic's gravity works is when you hit a certain speed, it will try and pull you sort of down to where Sonic's feet are. Sort of bad way of explaining it, but And so essentially, we're just sort of pulling him down.
If you go fast enough off a slope, it's kind of like if you've played Mario Galaxy, it's as if you get it put on a different planet and you get pulled towards like a different planet almost. It feels super bizarre. But once you start to get the feel of it, you can really get a lot of use out of being able to manipulate Sonic's gravity. We get a ton of utility out of it, and that is one of the biggest instances of it.
Yeah, that is probably the best way to explain it. It's just Mario Galaxy. But essentially, once you hit a certain speed, you basically kind of get to choose where you use it, and so you have to find out, where it goes.
The man.
Hey,
So
wasn't that nice?
Whenever that man shows up, you're unable to do a spin dash jump because you'll start a conversation with him, which is a little annoying. So I got a little unlucky with the man TM being where I don't want him to be.
Yeah. Okay, anyone that played DX will know this. These light shoes are in a slightly different area. To move forward a little bit in Dreamcast versus DX. And there's another
You go ahead.
I was saying, there's another cutscene we can't really do much about.
Yeah,
so we can sit for it.
I will mention with the Lightspeed Dash in particular, you'll see it more in this run than you probably expect. All right, talk to Tikal. There we go.
Yeah, we're talking to Tikal because what can happen is when you try to do that jump, you hit her, and then you have to do it again. So talk to her early, get her out of the way, and then it just makes it easier.
Yeah, the Lightspeed Dash is utilized for a lot of tricks in Dreamcast specifically. Way more than you'd see in DX. The Lightspeed Dash in this game has this super the Lightspeed Dash in both games can be chained with a spin dash if you are very particular about the way that you attempt it.
Nice.
So doing a Lightspeed Dash spin dash jump, which is a lot of words, I call that a silly hop. Using a silly hop, we can do a skip in Lost World, and then also the most important thing, final leg skip, which is something that was not considered RTA viable until relatively recently.
Which we will get to that, and
we will get to that.
It is a skip. And what we just did, that was Casinopolis skip. That is the Dreamcast version, because the collision of that wall River went through basically doesn't exist.
Yeah, though that singular wall, the other wall up there has collision. The other part of the floor doesn't have collision. It's like everything perfectly lines up for you to be able to do it just like that and no other way.
Yep.
It's very weird.
Yep, just describe that game in like one word. Weird. But yeah, another thing just to bring up Casinopolis while we're here is that the end of the stage has a force that will pushes you off the platform. That's not on DX, that's only on Dreamcast. So what happens is you have to go behind the emerald to grab it, because if you go too close to the edge, you'll get pushed off, and then, you have to do it again. That's only a Dreamcast thing?
Yeah, Dreamcast weird.
Dreamcast weird.
And I do see in the chat, someone asked how many thousands of hours did it take to perfect that skip. I'm assuming that's referring to Windy Valley. More than you'd think. It's really hard.
Okay, Windy Valley skip on DX is, I'm not going to say it's free, but it's a lot easier. On Dreamcast,
especially with all the tools given.
Yeah, on Dreamcast, it's one of those easy to understand, but trying to actually get it consistent is a completely different story.
If I did not practice earlier, today, that was hopeless.
Yes.
Like,
I had faith. You would have done it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That's what pulled me through.
Faith. Oh, gonna get the ice key here. I don't know what you're going to do with it. Another interesting thing about Sonic's movement is that, not including spin dashing, he actually moves faster while holding an item.
That's kind of a universal trait across most of the cast, except for Gamma, for some reason.
Yes, I think Gamma's the only one that doesn't, which is a strange thing to change, but, I guess I think they didn't want you to be holding items too often, so makes sense.
Yeah.
So we're going to come into Ice Cap. You notice a lot of these stages tend to have skips that will skip a big chunk, but they don't tend to be as easy to do as Dreamcast. Like a lot, not as Dreamcast, I mean as DX. I'm talking about the wrong game here.
Yeah. Like the concept is like a lot of the same tricks exist in theory, but in practice they're very different. And Dreamcast almost always, not every time, but almost always has the harder variant.
Yes. It'll either be the same but harder, or there'll be something similar to where it will do basically the same thing, just a different area, different setup. And one example of that actually coming up here in Ice Cap.
Yeah, Ice Cap I think is one of the prime examples of that.
I mean, this is in the actual what we're going to do. This is just called doors clip, which is going to sort of spin us jump around here, and then that bottom corner has literally no collision. We just jump through. Yeah, usually we would keep going forward, and there was collision further back there. On Dreamcast, there is a hole here. What we was doing is he's trying to line up his ear with that crack, and that was honestly kind of perfect.
Yeah, it was second try. That is absurdly fast.
That is good.
I will be counting out loud though. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I let go of the control stick. I'm not the best at landing in the perfect spot all the time, so I have a safety strat that I like to use, where I'll wait for this mountain to render right here, then I'll react to it and just kind of go away.
Because you have to remember, Ice Cap, similar to Windy Valley, we are kind of avoiding a kill plane here. It's not a huge kill plane, but at the same time, the position...
I manage to find it every time.
That's because you're terrible at this game. What have you been doing?
So true. Why am I here?
Oh no. But yeah, it's you tend to get a bit closer to it on Dreamcast, is what I feel anyway. Like I think the kill plane's about the same on DX. It's just you tend to fall nearer to it in Dreamcast
because of where you start.
Yeah, like where you fall.
The actual starting place of where you fall in the beginning of Ice Cap is very different. Even though the kill plane is theoretically in the exact same place, it's much more inconvenient to get around it in Dreamcast.
Yes. Anyways, everyone's get your oh-nos ready because here he comes. Knock his knuckles.
Yeah, no oh-nos in Japanese. He just gives a very blood-curdling scream.
No. Okay. Knuckles is honestly pretty simple by here. You go just homing attack him. You do have to be careful not to hit him too quick because you can get phantom hits. Because you can hit him and he'll do the damage animation, but he won't take damage, but it resets his invincibility frames. So you do have to sort of time it, get the hit off before, So you do it after his invincibility frames are gone. So there's, yep. Honestly, you gotta appreciate that. I don't know who recorded Knuckles in Japanese, but beauty.
Knuckles' Japanese voice is fantastic. This is a good time to mention how good the Japanese voice cast is. The only person that's changed is Eggman.
Yeah, and I believe that's because his original voice actor, rest his soul, passed away around, I can't remember what game it was. I want to say S-Heroes, I think? Sounds about right.
I think that's about right. But beyond that, the Japanese voice cast for every single Sonic property has been the exact same. So every Sonic TV show, every Sonic game, everything that's ever had Sonic's voice in Japanese has been the same person.
Yes.
That's honestly incredible.
One thing you will
they nailed it. They got the perfect voice for him, like first try.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would say the same for American and English, but I mean that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah,
I love the current English cast though.
Yeah. One thing you will notice, Sonic's voice actor does tend to say a lot of English, and there is a good reason for that. He is actually an English teacher.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Sonic's voice actor.
Cool.
Junichi, I think his name is. He's an English teacher, so he tends to say a lot of English.
There are a lot of very funny, very quotable English lines from Japanese Sonic.
Yeah.
Like, shoot is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And then,
Here.
It's not disrespectful to Resident Sleeper on Chaos 4.
Oh, Chaos 4. This is a boss. But yeah, I will quickly explain how Chaos 4 works. Chaos 4 will do an attack, he will then move 3 times, raise up out of the water, and then you can hit him. Repeat that until the last cycle where he does 3 attacks, 3 movements. So with attack, move 3 times, attack, move 3 times, attack, move 3 times, and then you can hit him. What we're trying to do here is we want to keep our distance while being high in the air. What we're trying to do is avoid any blue spheres happening. Because they will lose around 8 seconds, roughly. Probably even longer on Dreamcast, actually.
The blue spheres are ridiculous. They lose
there it is.
Twice even. But they actually don't lose that much time if you stay far away from him in Dreamcast. The worst instance of RTA with blue spheres in Chaos 4 is actually GameCube.
I really put
GameCube can lose up to 34 seconds off of a blue spheres.
Wait, what?
It comes to a screeching halt when that attack starts.
Oh, wow.
It's
My parents got their own running GameCube then.
GameCube is a very interesting version of Sonic Adventure.
Yeah,
it's the first version of DX, so it's both the closest and furthest from Dreamcast.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah, yes it is. You notice DX tends to be a port of the previous game, so a lot of things get broken off, changed for our ports. GameCube is, I still like to say GameCube feels the most stable, but it's a lot more difficult than other runs. Because the control,
Yeah. While
GameCube
might be the most stable version of the game and one of the best looking graphically as far as the DXs go, it's got a lot of very interesting, I can't even call them changes because they're more like changes down the line, but if you start running something like the 2004 PC disc and then you go back to GameCube, it almost feels like the game got patched.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
That is the best way to explain it. It's literally the game got patched. And here we come to, honestly, my favorite part of the game. Reason why? Because I can do anything to make a sandwich. So then, chat, have you heard the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
Oh no.
Yeah.
I didn't remember anything else about that quote.
His flying fortress, the egg carrier.
Yeah. Which I still say is a weird name for it when you think about it.
Well, it's kind of funny, right? Like, he's an egg. It carries eggs. It's an egg carrier.
Yeah,
it's really on the nose, but it's pretty funny. It's such a cool looking ship. I'm a little disappointed the only time it comes back is Sonic 06.
Yeah, I would like to see more of it because it is a cool ship.
And speaking of its design 06, its design in 06, its design in 06 is amazing. Looks so cool in HD.
God, it really does. For all the hate 06
Knuckles.
All the hate 06 gets, that is actually a really fun game. It's another really fun run.
Especially with the gems. I quite like the gem system in 06.
Yeah. Okay, so, right. We're gonna need some concentration here because Wither has to set up the hardest trick in the game. Okay.
This is really, really taxing. This is probably the hardest single section of execution on the whole run. Once this cutscene is over.
Once the cutscene is over, you're gonna need full concentration here. But no, we got faith. We got faith. You can do it. Complete faith. And you know what? Yep, because having a secret runway makes sense. Why not? Got the room for it.
I'm just interested how he didn't kill the trees.
Move them out of the way. You move them.
Why didn't I think of that?
Just move them.
Just move them. What are roots?
Like, roots, who needs them? Probably doesn't even want them. They're probably plastic. Let's be real. He's got plastic trees outside his house. Is this even his house? There's like nothing in there.
It's a workshop.
Yeah, I don't even know where he lives.
It's not a house.
Does he live anywhere?
Does anyone live anywhere besides Big?
Anyway, here it is, the hardest trick in the game. Okay? What Wither is going to do is put his control stick in a very specific spot, and by that I mean you're going to put top right and then put the controller down.
All right.
That's it. Good job.
Great level. Thank you.
World record pace, let's go. World record, let's go.
Very impressive.
So yeah, the sky chases, there are 2 of them in Sonic's story, both of which can be completely nullified by going to the top right corner of the screen.
Yeah, because, you know...
You might take a little bit of damage, but, like, you can't lose.
Yeah. This works in both Act 1 and Act 2, so... They really didn't test this. I mean, the only thing you need to consider for Act 2 is you have to fight the boss, but that's literally it.
And the boss fight for Act 2 doesn't really contest you. If you just mash on it, it just kind of dies.
Yeah. Because it loses its hit collision when it dies, so you just sort of stay in the middle, and then there you go. As simple as you can get.
Yeah, this is about the time in the run where I talk about how much I like Sonic Adventure.
I'm gonna let you take it away if you want to.
About every time I end up running this game, I always talk about just how much I like this game. And I know it's kind of like a meme in a lot of communities, or just in general with speedrunning, for like speedrunners to be like, I hate my game, but like I don't feel that at all for Sonic Adventure in any way. I love everyone in the community. I love everybody that I've talked to about this game. I love everything in this game. Even when this game frustrates me, it's like I always know that I can play at least a different story casually and have just a great time. Adventure is just such a fun game, and the Dreamcast is such a cool console.
Can I ask you, Witherman, is this game, like, does it hold a certain nostalgia for you? Is that why you decided to speedrun it?
So that's a fun question to answer, because So Sonic Adventure is one of my first 3 Sonics, as I'm assuming it is for most people, honestly. At this, well, maybe not anymore, but that's beyond the point. I played this game. Yeah, I played this game, the GameCube release, whenever I was, 4, 5, 6, when I was pretty young, and so Adventure's got a very, very, just a very special place in my heart. And what got me to the Dreamcast version was just hearing about it and finally getting to play it about like 3 or 4 years ago. The first time I finally got to like really try this version of the game, and I immediately fell in love with this game all over again.
Aw, nice.
It's so cool. But like it's also kind of hard, right? Because it's hard to have nostalgia for something you never truly left. I play Adventure every year, even before we started running it.
Yeah.
Was it tough to adjust to like the Dreamcast controller? It was like pretty natural for you.
So here's the thing. I'm a little freak. I like the Dreamcast controller.
You have no idea.
I love it. It's one of the few controllers I can hold that doesn't actively hurt my hands. I started developing hand problems a long time ago, and so if I use a controller for a prolonged period of time, I just have to put it down. But the Dreamcast controller, part of why I've grinded this game so hard is because I can. It's just the Dreamcast controller just fits very naturally in my, I guess, very alien hands.
Nice.
I mean, one thing I will say is the Dreamcast controller is a lot more comfortable than you'd think. Because looking at it, it does look kind of weird and off-putting, and not having any sort of cover on the analog stick can throw you off. But once you actually spend time with it and get used to it, it is a really nice controller.
I love it. I've used the same controller for every run I've done of this game.
Amen.
That's awesome, actually.
It is a really good controller. And that was another question.
That means you didn't break any controllers in Rage. That's awesome.
True. Also,
this
we're going to be talking
conversation.
about the controller. I got something interesting to add too, as a random little factoid about the Dreamcast controller. It is incapable of drifting. If you have a Dreamcast controller from 1998 like this one, it will never drift. The controller is literally not capable of it.
Magnets, son. Magnets, that's what that is.
Magnets.
Yeah, because most controllers will use potentiometers to kind of work out where they are. Like, imagine an Etch-a-Sketch, that's sort of that. But, the sort of angled. The way Dreamcast controller works is it uses magnets to sense where in a sort of, within like a box, where the control stick is. So, unless you're physically, smashing your controller to pieces, it will never drift. And even then, you're pretty rare.
Or unless like you live long enough for the polars to like the actual like magnetism of the planet to change. That might affect it.
Yeah, that could, but you know. I mean, no, I'll probably still be running the game at that point, to be fair.
Honestly, me too. I love this
even
game.
anytime soon.
Dedicated.
Dedication. Yeah, I mean, like, I will joke about, not about, you know, things being annoying, but as a whole, this game is great. I love this game. I love this community. You guys are awesome. I love you. But yeah, we're coming up to Twinkle Park here. We are going to try for a skip called TPS. Would it be TPS or TPSS on Dreamcast?
I just say DC skip, or like DC TPS.
Yeah,
because it's just really convenient.
Yeah, because there is a TPS on DX, which is different, and then there's also TPSS, which is completely different. They work on both, but on DX there's an extra kill plane you have to go through. Dreamcast, it's as long as you have the right number of rings, you'll go right through.
And the magic number is between 10 and 20, and this guy is going to
He's gonna be a bit of pain. Yep.
I've got too many, so this is gonna be fun.
Oh, hopefully it'll be fine. We got faith. And too many.
That's okay.
Yep. I mean, it's not that bad. You know.
Nah.
These things happen, so we just gotta go for it again, and then yeah, it will be fine. Don't you grab the car you get? Doesn't matter. There is different stats for each car, but not enough to where it affects stuff like track skip. So just go for anyone; they'll be fine.
Oh no. I actually disagree with that too. Wow, it just had to be a 40 capsule. The color of the car for track skip actually matters a little bit. There
really?
is
I've never had it.
With light blue, if you get 15 rings, there is a 100% consistent let go of the controller, always make it strat.
I never.
Which is what I've been trying for. See, every time.
There we go. Perfect. Every time we'll just edit out that bit. It'll be fun.
Yeah. It's just the rings. Like I just kept getting too many from the capsules.
Yeah.
No, I have criminally bad luck, so I always end up getting like very low ring counts. So I don't normally have to deal with having too many. But you know, because it's a marathon, because it's a no reset, we just had to make sure that something happened.
Everything has to go wrong. That's how it is. That's how it is. Okay, so we're going to set up, this is Coast Skip. We're going to fall in a ball form, and then that allows us to do a homing attack forward, and there we go. We can do a spin dash hover. To explain it, the way spin dash hover works is you charge up a spin dash holding X, you hold A, you then let go of X while holding A, and you essentially, you get further vertical distance to travel based on how many frames your previous jump was. So, we mean you don't really use that in Dreamcast that often?
Not really, no.
Yeah.
But it is useful to know.
Yeah, I mean, we'll use it again in Speed Highway, which is going up next. And is there anywhere else after that? I can't think so.
If so, we'll remember.
Yeah, when we get to it. We trust us, guys. We run this game. We play this game. We know what we're doing.
Chat did ask, does the color matter in DX? Yes. If you don't get dark blue in DX, you are incapable of doing a lot of the fast strats. Yeah. Dark blue is the fastest car overall. I go for light blue in Dreamcast for consistency's sake more than anything else, but dark blue is the fastest car.
Yeah. I mean, DX, the dark blue car is also put in the best position on DX, so it's a lot easier to get it. So most people would naturally go to that one, which is, positive.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yep. Anyway, here's Speed Highway. And we do have to wait for the keys to drop down so we can get in here. So what we're going to do is, we're going to jump over here, and I'm sure most people playing this game have tried to do this jump. What we're going to do is going to go up here, we're going to do a jump cancel to reset our hover frames, do a spin dash hover, and there we go, right over. I guarantee most people playing this game have tried that at some point without even realising it's an actual skip. And it is amazing.
Now, while it looks so simple, it is actually deceptively difficult to try and learn because there's a lot of tech going on in Speed Highway. It gets chained together so fast you don't really have the time to notice, but you do a spin dash. You reset your hover frames, which is spin dash hovering, which is something we don't use too often.
Yep.
And then you immediately go into a homing attack boost cancel, which is something else that we don't really utilize too often, at least for tricks. I homing attack boost cancel almost every time you see me do a homing attack because I love the mobility it gives me. It's not necessarily faster, but it feels better to me, and it lets me just maneuver a little bit better. A homing attack boost cancel is whenever you do a homing attack and then immediately cancel with the spin dash button, which will remove any of the active frames of Sonic's attack, but it makes him fly forward. He gets to maintain more of his vertical momentum and kind of convert it into horizontal. He gets a small little push forward. It's kind of I don't know. It's kind of just a little hand smacking you in the back to give you just a little push.
So yeah, I mean what we just did there. We just skipped Act 3 by taking a quick spin dash jump up into a roof, falling through, because the top of that doesn't have collision. You skip through that, and I'm gonna go round. We have to go through a couple hub areas, just to get to the next cutscene, and then we should be good. So yeah, I mean, this is mostly just taking, kind of choosing the correct lines to take movement. There is a heavy emphasis on movement in this game. You can get a really good time only knowing the very basic skips, and you can still get a very good time in this game just based on pure movement. So for anyone considering picking up this game, I definitely recommend spending some time getting used to how it controls and getting a feel for it, because there is a lot of intricacies you kind of have to get used to. But once you do,
the world of it was really cool.
That was really cool, actually. I just trying to get that jump, going from the stairs and sort of curving up into the train door. Not the easiest thing to do, but when it does, it looks beautiful.
So, a lot of people might not actually know this because it's not really deliberately explained to you anywhere, and I didn't find out until I started running the game. But the triggers on every version of the game, your left and right trigger, adjust the camera. No one will tell you this. This is a exclusive fact from this stream only. You can manually control the camera at all times in this game by just using the triggers.
Is it even in the instructions?
Is it?
I don't remember. I don't have one anywhere. No, I do, but I can't bother to get them. I'm lazy.
It better be. I'll check my manual later.
I don't know if it is.
That's kind of a big thing to gloss over now that I think about it.
It's we've discovered this brand new strat in the game. Is it the instructions? I don't know. I never checked. I don't know. No one told me this. I just sort of play the game. No one said I had to learn how to play it.
Yeah, now we're off to Red Mountain after grabbing the Ancient Light. Red Mountain is a very, very interesting level.
Yes.
I want to give a shout out in this specific time to Broby, who is at the current time the current world record holder for Sonic Story, and also just got back on the grind for some ILs. He's hit some DX strats, some stuff that you see at the top level of DX, which is a very, very optimized version of the game. He's starting to hit those in Dreamcast, and he's hit the new Red Mountain world record IL is incredibly impressive. Highly recommend you go check that out sometime.
It is. So we've got the Ancient Light here, which is there's only one time in the game you actually ever need it. You can technically never use it again. We will use it for Chaos 6 because it does double damage. But yeah, that monkey is the only reason you actually need it, because that load zone behind the door does not exist until that monkey is gone.
If we could somehow find a way to destroy that monkey without the Ancient Light, that would be such a huge time save, but right now, I don't think there's any way we can do that.
Yeah, not that I can think of. Because I believe it's not a separate collision, because I tried looking, I don't know, it could be a different Dreamcast, but I tried looking at the collision on DX. And the cage and monkey share a collision. So I'm not entirely sure how we'd go around that. I mean, there's theories, but again, there's not really any way to test them properly. So anyway, we're demanding we should go around here. This is a big skip right here. We're gonna do a spin dash jump over here. And now one difficult one difference between this and DX is that in FreeCam this will be fine. In Dreamcast, the camera rotates 180, so you got to kind of be preemptive for it. Change your direction as the camera changes, and then you can get through just fine.
If you've ever played a Resident Evil game before, and you know how whenever you go through a hallway, like the camera changes and your controls change, that's exactly what happens right there. So if you can imagine how hard it is to maintain your momentum in a game like this with the Resident Evil camera, it's a little weird.
Yeah, I've lost many runs, many IO attempts just to that one camera change.
Oh yeah,
It's a fun one.
That, of anything in the game, that is probably what's taken me the longest to get over. At this point now, it's no longer a challenge to me. I don't really think about it too much. But I will say it did haunt my dreams for quite a long time.
Wake up in the cold sweat. I missed Red Mountain skip again. No.
Wake up in the cold sweat thinking, oh, Red Mountain.
One quick thing I'm going to add is when you go on a rocket, you can actually fall off at any moment just by hitting a spin dash button. So for Red Mountain, we won't take it to full height. We'll go up to basically we'll get to where the end of the hole is. Hit spin dash button, drop down, and then jump onto the capsule. There's more time save, but time save is time save.
Time save is time save, and in this game, it matters.
It matters. Yeah, but I mean, it's lucky that Tails poked Sonic with some magnet shoes, otherwise he would have fallen off by now. But here it is.
This game is such a good soundtrack.
It is. I love Sonic Adventure soundtrack. I mean, I grew up on the Adventure era, so I've got a huge amount of nostalgia for this game and its soundtrack.
Oh, me too. Like, oh, whoops. I failed the trick. There we go.
No. Reset, quick. Don't know. Reset. It'll be fun. Reset.
Yeah, so back at Sky Chase, back at it again to the Krispy Kreme. This is all you have to do again. Just top right, top right, top left, bottom right. I don't think it actually matters for this one.
I believe I think it's the same for Act 1 as well. I think they all work.
There is a transition in this one. There's kind of like a two-part stage because you're supposed to have like a more action-oriented section whenever you go into battle mode. But the Egg Fleet hasn't quite figured out how corners work yet, even whenever you've changed shape.
But I mean, we can't just sit in the corner and go for it. One thing that doesn't apply to Dreamcast, does apply to DX, is the aspect ratio you play this game affects how the planes coming at you move, like where they come from. Doesn't really matter.
That is an interesting bit, isn't it? Like in Dreamcast, it's always going to be the same resolution. Like it's hardware.
Well, okay.
But whenever
depends if you're playing PAL, because PAL has a higher vertical resolution, which then makes it look narrower. Because ours is 576, I believe, by something else I can't remember. But yeah, ours is technically taller, so we have more vertical pixels, which does make Sky Chase look a bit different.
Does it adjust the spawn of the ships like it does in DX?
I'd imagine it would, but it's not enough to where it makes a difference.
Yeah, some people who run DX, they don't just play in widescreen; they play in like ultra widescreen. Like the first person that comes to mind for me is Pasta Nova Delight, who was playing the game in something absurd like 9,000. It was like 9,500 by 1080.
Yeah.
And it's just like this super long window that it's like playing the game through a GoPro. Like especially in the really small rooms that are just like two doors.
Yeah,
it's like an action cam that like it's like a fisheye lens that follows you.
Yeah. It is funny when you see how you can change the way Sky Chase works just by changing the aspect ratio. Like, this is a funny game.
It's a very funny game.
It's a funny game. I love it, but it's a funny one.
There really is nothing quite like Adventure 1. There probably never will be again. Like, it's... Even if you tried, it's kind of impossible to recapture the kind of magic this game has in a weird way, you know? Like, it's such a technical showcase for the Dreamcast. And that's what they were going for with all the different stories. All the different stories are supposed to show off something else, because this is a game that would come bundled with the console. So it's kind of like a guide to show you what kind of games you might like, which is why Big exists.
Yeah. Shout out to Big though. Big story is great.
Shout out to Big. Big
Shout out
is
to Big.
shockingly one of the most fun stories in the game. Big is awesome.
Yeah. Like, it's so weird, because when you play casually, Big just kind of seems like a random character. But doing the runs, it's... Honestly, there's a lot to consider. I mean, it's
There's
pure
a lot
movement.
to think about.
Yeah,
it is.
It's pure movement. There's no skips.
talk-
Okay. Like
You can talk to any 3D platformer, like any 3D platformer runner, right? And you'd be like, what is your checklist for games you want to run? And then like they would always end up with Big Story.
I know.
Like,
Big.
they
Big's
would-
great.
Big is awesome.
We're at the last third of the game here. We kind of tend to separate Sonic Adventure, Sonic Story into 3 segments. So you have the beginning section, which is before Sky Chase, the middle section, which is between the two Sky Chases, and then the ending, which is where we're at now, which is after, the second Sky Chase. So when you watch your runs, we tend to talk about early, middle, late game, and you kind of separate them out and then work on what you need to work on.
Yeah, about this point in the game is when I start to really get into my groove. Like, I think that my end game, not to, poorly timed events, but I think that my end game is typically a lot stronger than my beginning. I think the beginning of Sonic Story is extremely difficult. Emerald Coast is such a hard level. Then Windy Valley is also just ludicrous in what it's asking for you. Like, it's getting through the beginning section of Sonic Adventure is so hard. And then the last major hurdle really, well, that's not true anymore with Final Egg Capsule, but the former last real hurdle was this level coming up, Skydeck.
I mean, I'd argue Lost World can present some problems.
It can, for sure, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it's really fun. So, even if
you're
I
biased.
fail at Lost World, that's true. Silly Skip exists.
Oh, that's gonna be fun. I love City Skip.
I love Silly Skip.
It's...
We'll be sure to talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, we are coming up to Skydeck, which, if anyone that's played this game knows how fun this stage is.
Yep. I bet
This is-
every time you think about playing this game, this is the first stage you go to whenever you start playing on trial mode again.
Yep. It's always the one. I feel like Skydeck is one of the stages which, ironically, feels a bit easier once you understand how to skip any of the monotonous stuff that kind of happens. Yeah, we're gonna jump over here. No free cam, which does mean the camera sort of has a weird angle there, which I never get used to because I'm used to DX, but we live.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna go over to the right because this direction is a bit quicker. And then because we don't actually need the body because they decided just to put the platform close enough, we can simply jump over. Yeah, another thing that I've noticed that is different between this version and DX is that Lost World. What am I talking about? I'm on the wrong stage. I'm getting ahead of myself. Skydeck tends to get randomly dark for no reason. I believe it has something to do with a cloud flying over you. You spend too long in this area.
If you spend too long in the area, the ship is traveling and it's kind of on like a day-night cycle. So if you take too long, or like you're in a specific area for too long, the day-night cycle gets adjusted, and it gets really, really dark.
Yeah, very dark. It can be difficult to see where we're going. Anyway, we're here in Act 2. Can jump with it. Hopefully we'll get the early cannon, because the cannon always comes up pointing in the same direction. So if you can aim right and...
Oh, that was really close.
That was very close. But yeah, essentially, it always comes up facing the same direction, and so as long as the rocket hits the center of the cannon, or close enough, it will destroy it no matter what. So we do kind of try and aim for an early cannon. So we're gonna do a spin dash jump up here, and we're gonna get early capsule.
No.
That was close.
It was close. Good
Still saving
attempt.
a lot of time there. Yeah, you've probably seen other runners where you can just spin that jump and land on the capsule. It's not the easiest trick to get, but it does save time when going for it. And it's not really one that's not worth going for. So it's at the very least, it's good to attempt it. Yeah, we are.
And as much as I love this game, Skydeck is probably the most unstable level in the game. The Dreamcast version is not prone to crashing too often, if at all, but Skydeck, for some reason, is the only level I've ever had an on-console crash. And it happens occasionally. It's not the most common thing in the world, but it is something to be scared of.
Yeah. I feel like Skydeck is definitely the most sort of prone to crashing or just simple soft locks. Especially at the end of the stage where if you hit the capsule, you can get stuck in a corner, and because Sonic's not on his feet, the game won't progress until he's sort of stood still. So you can sort of soft lock there. Anyway, Eggman has stolen the bird. Thank you, Eggman. I was done with 12.
That bird had a Chaos Emerald.
Where were they putting it? Where were they fitting?
It was in the briefcase.
The briefcase.
Yeah, didn't you watch the Sonic movie? They can change size.
I mean, the Master Emerald does that, so work on the Cat Emeralds, I guess.
True, new lore just dropped.
New law, we got it. We figured it out. Yeah.
Gamma is my favorite Sonic character. Just figured I'd throw that out there. I love Gamma.
I've grown to like Gamma a lot more doing runs. Like, I enjoyed him, but learning Gamma's run, kinda hype, not gonna lie.
Gamma's awesome because not only do I love his character and his story, but his run is also super hype, which just makes it even better. Like, Gamma, my goat.
Yeah, Gamma is great. Gamma also gets the funny homing attack.
Yeah, the super awesome homing attack.
There's no limit on how far away you can be. It just goes right for him.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that fight, but yeah, the homing attack just has infinite range, specifically for that fight.
I don't get why they changed it for this one specific fight, but cool. We'll take it. So we've got just one cutscene here where Amy stands in front of a robot. I mean, fair enough. Actually, you know what? Because she said that's another category, which is great. Is Amy's story.
Oh yeah, we might have a surprise for the Amy enjoyers in chat a little bit after the Sonic story run.
Yeah. Just a little bit. But yeah, like her story, like talk about just her story run specifically, it's completely different between DX and Dreamcast.
It is.
Like
the Dreamcast version of Amy's story is very, very different. It is quite interesting just how different Amy is. That's why I'm really excited to be given the chance to show that off a little bit later if everything goes well.
Which it should. I got faith.
Yeah, the things are going pretty good so far, I gotta say. Like, a couple things left, but, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there's only been a few mistakes throughout, but the run in general has been about as clean as you can ask for, to be fair. Yeah. This is around the time where on DX we'd probably be finished.
It'd be, probably a little bit ago, to be fair.
Probably, yeah, actually. But you know, that's why we've got Sonic Adventures CX coming to a category extension near you.
It's true. If you think that this game looks super interesting, but you're like, man, these cutscenes are just the worst, well, buddy, do I got a surprise. We've got a whole category extension that specifically teaches you how to remove the cutscenes from this game. Of course, it does require something that's external, so that's why it's not the main category. It's not something that we can actually like properly implement. It would be... Plus, it's weird. Because like you'll run into a lot of things in cutscene skip, which is CX, where you have to like fight Chaos Zero twice, because to skip the cutscene, you die after beating him. It's interesting. Highly suggest looking into that if you've got any more Sonic interest.
It is a great category. If you're interested, I'd definitely recommend checking it out. You know, just to get your feet wet, see what it's like. But here we are at Chaos 6, which is this is a boss. This is also, besides the monkey outside Red Mountain, this is the only time in a run you will use a light speed attack. because for some reason the way this is coded is the lightspeed attack does double damage. No other boss has this, by the way. Only this one.
I think it's supposed to be like one of those secrets that existed for like cheat books and stuff. Like, that's my only guess, is that Sega like worked, like the Sega dev team A was like contacted by a cheat book team. They're like, yo, do you want to sneak something in for like our book? We'll give you money. And they were probably like, yeah, sure, we can make Chaos 6 take double damage to Ancient Light, I guess.
Honestly, that probably actually makes the most sense, to be fair. But yeah, because I mean, like, people have tried. We've tried every other boss. I mean, the lightspeed attack does speed up other bosses purely on movement, but it never does double damage like it does here.
Not even the bosses that follow it, which makes no sense.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, the way it is working, Wither's going to simply destroy one of those bombs, it will freeze Chaos 6, and then we will try the lightspeed attack, and there we go. One more of those, and Chaos 6 is over. One thing to bear in mind with the lightspeed attack is it is possible, if you're too far away, the lightspeed attack would end early, but you'll still do damage. Which ends up happening is that you do 1 point of damage instead of 2, even though you did a lightspeed attack. So you kind of have to get, you want to get a bit closer just to be safe.
Yeah, it's a little temperamental and weird, but you just got to make sure you're really, really close to him. And then for some reason, some of the particles that like fly around, those like yellow particles when I'm charging, they also have hitboxes on them, so you can't be too close to him when you're charging, otherwise you'll just take damage from those. That's what happened to that little ice guy flying around. If you notice that he took damage and I stopped and I bounced up randomly.
Yeah. That's kind of actually, because you mentioned the light particle, that is a reason for picking up the crystal ring. It's because they all have collision, like all the sort of sparkle things, I don't know what you call them. They have their own collision and hitboxes and everything, so they count as an item, which means the longer it takes you to charge up a lightspeed attack or lightspeed dash, does result in more lag. So we do grab the crystal ring in the Dreamcast.
Even though the crystal ring is an optional power-up, and you might be thinking, well, if you could skip a cutscene, isn't that worth it to just not sit through that cutscene? The answer is shockingly no. Taking an extra cutscene and just, having a little bit of extra downtime to grab the crystal ring is completely worth it, because the times we use the lightspeed dash, which are plentiful in the late game, because we're going to be doing it twice between this level and Final Egg, at the very least. It causes so much lag, it can almost triple the amount of time it takes to charge in some areas.
Yeah, you can. It's worth going out of your way to grab it. I mean, it doesn't take much effort. You simply stand outside the door, charge your light dash, and then just grab it. Which I didn't mention when we did it, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's whatever.
I've been too busy being distracted by how great this game is.
Honestly, I just like looking at it.
I know, right? Imagine playing it, it's even better.
True! I can't imagine playing it, I am.
He is. But yeah, we're going to go into Lost World here. Just let it load up, because, we do have loads. It says RTA. We're going to go for it. The beginning area is mostly just hallways. We're going to simply spin dash through, just to get through them. There isn't any skips here. We have the fire tunnel coming up, which is, as far as I'm aware, is pure RNG. There's no way to know which pillars are coming out, so you sort of have to react as you go through.
Yeah, I like to do spin dash jump just as I go through this, because it feels a little safer. It's not the best strategy in the world, but I mean, it works.
Yeah. It's kind of, you do want to play safe. And now we are setting up my favorite skip in the game. This is Silly Skip. This was patent pending by Wither. We're going to charge for lightspeed dash, we're going to jump over, release the lightspeed dash, and we're in perfect position to take the clip through that door.
That is Silly Skip. That is a Witherman original. Pure ingenuity on that one.
I love that skip. The name makes so much sense. We're going to quickly explain this. What Wither did back there was he jumped up to remove the light, so it aimed at him and then spin dash through. Because it tries to put you in the dark so you hit the mirrors, but we can sort of trigger the light to appear, to shine on us, to make it easier to see.
Yeah, the light actually didn't follow me like I was expecting it to, so that last half was extremely dark, which is why that did not work like it was supposed to. So I made sure to stop and take a mirror just so I could find a new path. I've actually never taken that path. I just did. That was kind of on the fly to prevent myself from dying.
Yeah.
So, hog. Oh, we lived.
But yeah, coming up to the end of Lost World, gotta be careful with this board. The board does have rubber banding, so if you go too fast, it can catch up with you. And so, you should go through here. I'm gonna do another very short skip here. By jumping on these panels, you can just simply spin that jump up here. And the edge of these panels has collision, so you can... Oh no! Oof.
The game lagged. My jump got eaten. So sad. Yeah, that happens up here a lot.
Yeah, it can. There's a lot of items up here, so you do end up with that happening. I was saying the edge of these platforms has collision, so you can simply stand on them, jump over, and then there we go. We're into
not the
the
worst.
smallest act of the game. I still have no idea why that's there.
It's just kind of a small hallway you have to walk through for like less than 1 second, but I mean, it's an act.
I mean, yeah, that's an act. And here we are, we're coming close to the end. We have a couple more cutscenes to get through. So welcome back to the Sonic Adventure, Sonic Story movie, I guess. Part 2.
Part 2.
Part 2. We're back. But yeah, there's a lot that goes on in this game, so thing is, it's one of those games where it looks a lot harder to run than it actually is. But like once you have a basic understanding and you put a bit of time in, you can get very consistent at a lot of the things that are happening here.
Oh yeah, I think Adventure is a game that I've speedrun plenty of other games before I started running Adventure. But Adventure is always a game that seemed very scary to me, especially when DX was the main board, because you would see things at the top like Task Route, and you watch people like Nixer play, and you're like, that's inhuman. And I mean, it is. Nixer is a banana.
I mean, he's not human. He's human Task.
But the level of skill at the top is insane. But don't let that frighten you. This game is actually very beginner friendly. There are so many strats, there are so many things you can do as a beginner for just sheer consistency, where you can compete with some really good times without really changing what you do.
Yeah.
Of course, there are much faster strats you can implement that are way harder to shave off like seconds at a time, honestly. And you will start needing those if you climb the top, but if you want to just, get a good time to impress yourself, this is a fantastic speed game. But I mean, we might be a little biased. We just like the game. Oh, you still sound fine to me. Hope everything's good. True. Yeah, triggering that to call cutscene is actually shockingly difficult. Like, you've got to slide on by just to be able to get her. So it's it takes a little bit of finagling, but final level and final boss. We are. I am not looking at the timer just for my own sake, but I think we're doing really good. Oh no, he's gone. Alright, so Final Egg Capsule Skip is something that was implemented very, very recently into runs, which is in the very first second of this level. This is quite a long level with a lot of very difficult tricks. But right here, there is a new trick, which is pretty... It's been known about for a long time. It does require a silly hop input, but actually landing where we want to land is incredibly difficult. And I just got it in the first try.
Let's go.
That's... Okay. I'm trying to process what just happened. No, Squeefy, please come back. Please, Squeefy, come back. I can't commentate the rest of this. the reason for the shell shock behavior right now, which I'm apologizing for, is we're now on world record pace.
Okay, then. We'll take that.
I don't know what the time is. I just kind of looked. I saw it was 10 something.
Don't worry about the timer.
Yep.
You got this.
Just gonna play the game. Just gonna play the game
that you love. Oh, Skeefy's back.
Squeefy, are you here? First try. First try. I didn't even get to finish explaining it.
But you got it first try?
We're already on Egg Viper. Did he say gone again? Oh no! Oh good. Oh good. Oh good.
But you got it first try?
I'm gonna take it slow. I can't do it to myself. I cannot play this quickly. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, okay, just to explain what's happening here. We are going to dodge this move here. And then the... we are going to dodge this move here. And then the center...
Alright, so time is going to be coming up kind of soon. The time is going to be after Eggman's final thing. After the boss fight's over, there's like a small little like thing I have to survive. Once I survive that, that'll be time. Alright, so that's the end of Egg Viper. He's going to do one little last thing. And then once the in-game timer stops, that's when time is. So time is going to be coming up extremely soon. And... time.
GG. 1:10:37. What do you think, Witherman?
I'm gonna cry.
Oh my gosh, can we get some love in the chat for Witherman? That was incredible. I want to reach out and give you a hug. Oh my god.
There was so much more that could have been better, but I've been trying for months. I've been almost trying for a year. And to get it here, wow.
Hell yeah. Well, chat is going wild for this run. Incredible.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for having me.
Yep.
Wow. I don't know what to say.
I think oh my wow says it all. I was gonna ask Witherman, do you need some time while we set up for Amy's story?
A few seconds maybe, but I would like to talk for a little bit first, if that's all right.
Please do, yeah.
This game's really good. I really like Sonic Adventure. I have a lot of people who have supported me speedrunning for a long time. You know, my parents have been very supportive whenever they stop by the stream. So, you know, shout outs to Mama and Papa Wither. Massively appreciate them in my life and all they've done for me and stuff. But the Sonic Adventure community as well has just been insane. It's just been so nice. Everyone's been so nice the whole time I've been part of it. I'm very honored to have been here in the first place and to have had the showcase of my favorite game in one of my favorite communities. Just getting to show everyone a world record and what this game can really be. That means more. That means more to me than I probably will ever be able to articulate.
Well, we really appreciate you being here to show off this game. I think the world record is an excellent bonus, so good job.
A little bit, huh?
Yeah.
I can finally rest easy. But
Now we want to know what's next on the docket for Witherman. Are you going to keep on running this game in this category, or you might move on?
Sonic Story is going to take a break, but I am going to be doing a Dreamcast 130 Emblems run, which is essentially this game's true 100%. So, true 100% will be coming pretty soon on my channel. I'm going to be doing a lot more adventure. I might take a very small break, but there will be so much more adventure because one of these days, I want to have every category. This makes 3.
Love it.
So, speaking of categories I'm really good at, who wants to see some Amy?
Let's go. Let's see some Amy. I'm ready for this too.
Amy's really cool. Like, I'm still trying to process what happened, but I'm just gonna kind of let that sink in later.
Yeah, if you want, we can take a little.
We
can take a little stretch break, a little walk around, and we can then set up for Amy's story. You want to do something like that?
Let the credits roll. Yeah, I'll get up.
Yeah,
I'll grab some water.
We'll be right back, everybody, and Witherman is going to show off some of Amy's story. So let's get hyped for that.
All right, thank you. I'll be right back.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for your patience. Time Capsule is back, and Witherman is back. And congratulations again, Witherman, on that world record. But we are going to see a little bit Amy now. Is that correct?
Thank you. Yeah. Amy, in a very unsuspecting character, I would say. You wouldn't think Amy's as just completely nutty as she is. There's only 3 levels in this category, and 2 out of the 3 are completely bonkers.
Well, whenever you are ready.
Of course. I'll say time starts whenever I don't know, start the load screen. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck again.
Thank you. Now, there is a lot of very interesting stuff with Amy. Twinkle Park despite being her first level, one of the hardest in the game because of a little thing called Castle Skip. Using this row of flowers here, okay, well, I gotta land in it. You can do a hammer flip, get up here on this invisible wall, hammer flip on over here, then do another one, use another invisible wall as a platform, get up on top of this slope, and then just go straight through this one. And that skips a 3-act long level. This level, on average, your first time might take you 5 to 6 minutes, and now it takes just around 30 seconds.
Yo, do it again. Guess who's back? I am.
Welcome back, Squeefy.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah, that was Twinkle Park. DX has its own Twinkles. Of course, it'd be great if we could skip the whole level. DX has its own castle skip, but the way it works is completely different. You have a different setup. In DX, the top, that collision, that bush, I don't think that's there. So the setup's completely different. Anyway, opting to do Final Egg first, honestly, I don't blame you.
Yeah, Final Egg is actually the second level in the list for the Japanese version of the game for some reason. So whenever I'm practicing, I just do all these levels in their debug order, which is what they are in the trial mode.
Yeah. Yeah, there isn't many major skips Amy gets for Dreamcast Fine Leg. It is mostly just, we're just taking some simple movement optimizing. To explain Amy's movement, she tends to fall. Her fastest movement is when she's falling. So what we notice, we'll do a jump and then we'll hold A to hold hover frames, sort of like halfway through the jump. So we extend that fall to go a bit further, so we keep that speed. And you change those jumps, and then that keeps your momentum going.
Yeah, so Amy is very interesting because she almost plays like a classic FPS in a way, because you want to chain bunny hops and you want to do it in such a way that you maintain and then increase your speed incrementally. So it's very, very fun moving around with Amy.
Yeah.
And then this is complete RNG.
Place your bets. Which door are we getting? I'm going door 1 because I have faith.
Well,
never mind. You've lost all my faith. Get out. Get out.
That was quick.
Yeah, door 1 through 5. You go through them. You get lucky.
Door 3 or 4, hopefully. Come on, you got this. You get second chance at faith.
Oh, door 3.
Door 3. Hey, we'll take it. Obviously, the more doors you open them, the more time you're losing. So you do want to hope for door 1, but there's no way to know. Door RNG, go for it. The best.
I'm not exactly sure when the seed gets set, but Amy, the doors are completely random. They're different every time.
I don't know if you're on DX. I believe it's when you create the save file, and then things change as you progress.
That would make sense.
But yeah, for Dreamcast, I'm not sure. I'm going to assume Dreamcast is similar to it does it when you create the save, but I'm not entirely sure. So, anyway, here's Hot Shelter. We're going to try and do elevator clip here. Gets it. Let's go. There's another. We're going to do a clip here. We missed it, but we get the with a spin, which no other human can do, by the way. Physically impossible.
If I'm famous for anything, it's for spinning things really fast.
I don't know anyone that can spin the cranks in this stage that quick, but Wither does. To the point where I'm almost certain he probably spins it faster than the clip. There it is. And so fast he takes off. He's gone. Yeah, Hot Shot is definitely a very interesting stage. Again, like we said during the Sonic story run, Amy in DX and Dreamcast are basically completely different. Like all the other characters, they have similarities. Amy, not a chance.
Like they go through the same levels, I guess, but they're so fundamentally different that they might as well not be.
Yeah. It is insane. I mean, there are some things that are shared between them, like this skip here, where we're just gonna fall through.
We're gonna use this bathroom stall.
Yeah.
Just fall through the door.
Yeah. Because it just pushes you through. Yeah, that's one of the. I think that's like the only major one I can think of that's shared between DX and Dreamcast.
Well, elevator and door clip 1, but.
Oh yeah.
Act 1 is pretty similar. Act 2, beyond the very beginning there, is completely different the rest of the way through.
Yep.
As they would in DX, they would clip through the walls here, but the walls are solid in this version of the game. What I'm going to be attempting is if I do a hover at the perfect time into these Eggman face doors, Amy can clip through these doors, although it is really tight. There we go, got it.
Yeah, I guess. Nice, let's go. So we can jump up here. It is possible to do a DX skip here, but it's very precise and you are doing it completely blind. Because unlike DX, there is a little bit of collision that stretches out that you can land on to make it safe, but that isn't here on Dreamcast. But you can still hit the spring if you get the timing basically perfect. We're setting up a slide here. By grabbing the box as it falls in, we can pick it up and it tries to get away from Amy, but because you're holding it, essentially just pushes you through the door.
And of course, that is a Dreamcast only trick. That does not work on DX, but DX does have, again, their own method, which is known as pasta skip. It doesn't use the puzzle stuff at all, but still gets the same effect. And then time for this is going to be after I grab the balloon. We'll get there eventually.
I'll get the second try. We can do this. I got faith. Faith, second try.
Gonna let Zero hit over here.
Yeah, because Zero does aim at the last place you were when he locks on. Second try. Let's go. No. Oh, that's unfortunate.
This is the struggle with going for this trick. This trick is known as DoorDash, specifically this one, because I thought it was funny. But this trick, you have to know the exact movement for each puzzle piece, because once you put them down, you have to kind of like finagle the slide to let you through the door and not die. It is incredibly difficult. Yellow is the easiest piece, because you can just do that and make it through. Any of the other ones, you've got to do some pretty intense movement. But yeah, that is going to be it for the Amy Showcase. That is her whole story, and that is time.
GG.
Oh.
Fun, we get to see a little bit of Amy's story like that.
Amy's story is very awesome. It's one of the sickest in the run. It's one of the sickest in all stories, which is the main category I like to run, where you go through all of the character stories back to back. And Adventure's just a really cool game. Every category is so dramatically different from each other. Multiple characters have unique levels that you don't share. There's so many things, like, and yeah, I know, like, it's so crazy fast, right? Like, this was a 10-minute estimate. We got there in 7 minutes. Amy doesn't have a lot of levels. It's really sad. But and she should have more because she's so cool.
But for now, it's just short and sweet with Amy here. So, Witherman, we're going to be wrapping up the show now. So, would you like to say anything? Leave our viewers with some thoughts or shout-outs or anything like that?
Oh, I feel like I hit up almost everything after Sonic, but the last thing I'll say is, if you've got a Dreamcast collecting dust, a copy of Sonic Adventure, and you thought anything you saw was cool, we have a huge scene that can cover everything. We have individual levels, we've got full categories, we've got all stories, we've got 130, we've got cutscene skip, and we've even got stuff for third-party controllers, because for some reason that breaks the game. Like, if you've got any way to play this game, please do. Sonic Adventure, both on the Dreamcast, on the PC, on the Xbox, on the GameCube. One of the coolest speed games of all time. I love this game. I love everyone that plays it. And thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. And thank you for letting me on the show, of course. This is, again, huge honor for me.
Well, it was an absolute pleasure having you both here on the show today, and GG Witherman on the world record and everything. I hope you have a big celebration this week.
Yeah.
Hold up, your world record?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
Why did I miss this?
I know, right? But yeah, that was by 30 seconds. 30 seconds for 30 Sonic.
Seconds. Well, let's go.
let's go. Yeah.
Let's go.
The news travels fast.
I'm disappointed. Why?
All right, my friends. Well, if you are watching this on YouTube from the future, make sure you go to twitch.tv/gamesdonequick if you are interested in watching our shows live. We start weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern and weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. Stay tuned tomorrow for No Category Left Behind, followed by Speedruns from the Crypt, and that all starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. I have been your host, Smooth Operative. Thank you so much for tuning into Time Capsule tonight. Have a beautiful day or night, and we will see you next time.